Okay. Wow. Welcome to another episode of Morelia Python Radio. And tonight we're live. We have a jam-packed show. First, we're going to be talking with Owen and Rob about their recent trip. This Sunday, we're going to do a brief overview. But this Sunday, for the Patreon people, we're going to do a more in-depth discussion of the trip and whatnot. But you may be wondering where we've been. I have been dead for about 3 weeks. I've been really sick. I don't know what's going on with me. I got tested for COVID, but I came up negative. I don't know if it was false negative or whatever. Had a real bad respiratory infection, in and out of the hospital multiple times for asthma attacks and being treated and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, and then I just sort of had this thing where I'm good for a day, and then the next day I feel like shit, which is kind of like this COVID after sickness thing that people have. So I don't know what's going on with me, but today I'm going to push through so that we can get the calendar contest.
We don't take you on one herping trip and you decide to nearly kill yourself via viral infection. Yeah, I mean melodrama.
Well, I mean that's today. It's the state of the world today, right? You're gonna take your world out with little microbes, right?
Yeah, I mean, thank God I was safe with Rob. With venomous snakes, like it was.
But after we do that, we're gonna bring Terry Burwell on, and we're gonna be revealing the winners of the 2022 Morelia Python Radio Calendar Contest, and we'll be going through that. But first,
Rob's here.
Talk about the trip. Hey, Rob, what's up, guys? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while.
It's been 20 days since we've spoken, or something along those lines. It's
really.
I don't remember, but it's weird.
I took Baytril, Ryan, and it didn't work.
Baytril and a heat lamp is what cured his respiratory
I heard that
infection.
horse dewormer and all this kind of stuff works for respiratory infections, but apparently I have no luck with this. So
yeah,
I maybe I'll try one of those. Sit myself in one of those tubs with a tube attached to it and go to it. So, but anyway. Let's talk about
the funny thing about that, I remember being a kid in Hungary in the early 90s. So, kind of coming out of the Eastern European thing and having a sinus infection. And the recommendation was actually to get a red bulb and put it like right in your face to kind of bake it out and do all this stuff. So, I don't know if that, certainly it didn't kill me, but you're not all that far off relative to the suggestions you're making there.
Yeah.
They beat kidding. Rob with eucalyptus, and they're like, "Do you feel better?" And he's like, "No." It's like, "Yeah." So,
yeah.
Anyway, we were in Arizona.
So tell me about it. Come on.
It was an awesome trip per usual. It was definitely a really cool cruising and landscape. I will say that every plant in Arizona and New Mexico is designed to stab you and wants to. So, I mean, my legs from the knee down are nothing but scratches and stab marks from like cactus, thorn bushes, everything. So I got tore up, but it was an awesome trip. The only thing that threw me off was that we were close to the New Mexico border. So when I was upstairs sleeping, it was 7 a.m. And when I came downstairs, it was like 6 a.m. So it kept like doing this, because one state believes in daylight savings time and the other state does not. And because we were close to the border, my phone couldn't figure out what was happening. So that threw me off for at least 2 days.
Wow.
So,
yeah, it's definitely the land where you need a wristwatch, not the phone. There's no cell service, and all the toilets are low flow. I mean, that's the deal, right? So
yeah, that's it. And every snake you find, there's a good chance it's venomous. So, but not.
Well, that's fun.
It was. So they came and got me because, once again, as a Morelia host, I arrive fashionably late, and picked up at the airport special, as I should be. Yes. But then we kind of did some cruising, and I don't think we didn't really find anything the first night, right, Rob? That was
we saw some stuff that had been hit. So while you didn't get the advantage, Dustin Gran, Gecko Sphere on Instagram, was a great host associated with our trip. So we kind of between Tom and I showing up and when we picked you up, we had gone up to Dustin's place and saw his collection and things, and the parents of Eric's geckos. So that was super cool. And then we saw him again on Thursday during the week. So yeah, that was totally fantastic. I want to thank him both here, and then we certainly will on Sunday as well when we're going
into more depth. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
it was Owen's idea to sort of maybe give the Patreons a little extra.
I'm withholding things from you people until you go and join the Patreon. Then you can hear about the herping trip.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It's a little bonus from them, you know?
So, but yeah, I mean, so we didn't really find anything the first night. I think you guys had seen, was it the whip snake that was hit by the car?
Yeah, there was a dead juvenile gopher snake and then the whip snake.
Right.
And I forget if there was an Atrax too on that 80, which turned out to be super productive for us, at least relative to, I mean, we were racing semis for each snake, but it wound up working out.
There were we found a desert king snake, and it was halfway across the road, and Justin pulled over in a way that the semi had to go around us so that it would not hit the desert king snake. Because if we had not stopped that way, it would just have plowed over this thing. We saw more DORs than I have in anywhere else. So I think we saw 3 patch nose. Rob sent me the thing. We found a couple gopher snakes that had been hit, and a couple.
Yeah, I wasn't even counting the dead. Like dead just counted as we saw a dead one. I know the biggest crush was that we had seen a Mexican hognose that had obviously been hit recently before we showed up, and it was nailed just right, basically right on the nose, right in front of the eyes and stuff, so that it looked sitting there perfect, and it was still alive, unfortunately. So yeah, we had to facilitate that situation, and it is a huge bummer. Especially, I mean, it's a bummer in any context, but when you think it's good and then it turns out not to be, that's all the worse.
Yeah,
and we didn't see a live one of those, so that made it doubly bad.
Yeah, I mean, well, we had seen some hit patch nose, and we had seen some hit gophers, but we found both of those alive, and that kind of made up for it. We did also.
The patch nose was a different species, unfortunately, and the species we saw is the one that we actually saw in Texas. So it was really a bummer. The Big Bend patch noses, we saw 3 of them dead, and that was a bummer because we haven't seen those live. So.
Yeah, they were pretty too. Like, they were really pretty kind of snakes. So we did get both the rattlesnake species that Rob really, 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 really wanted to get. So that was definitely a cool find. It's a little terrifying when you flip the tin and the rattlesnake's there and you don't have a hook. So it's all of a sudden I'm just screaming for Justin and Keith to come over. So but we got the banded rock rattlesnakes. We got 2 of them, and then we got the 2 ridge nose rattlesnakes. So
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was awesome. It was a good trip. We missed out on Gila monsters. Saw a bunch of coyotes.
I think the timing of the year is probably pretty rough to find those. It was crazy cold, especially overnight, especially in Portal or the Portal, southeast Arizona into southwest New Mexico border area. It was getting that one night. I think it was just about freezing. It was like 35, 34.
It was. Like it was like 30 degrees when we woke up. And then as we're walking the trail, it's like 90 degrees. It's just like,
wow. It feels like 90. It
feels like 90. It was not actually 90, but 70, oh my 80. God.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. A lot of different bird species. And then the first place we stayed at had a lot of different mammal species and stuff too that came walking into the camp. Coati Mundi showed up at a tree.
I found you, Owen.
And I had a small panic attack. So just like, what is that? I'm like, don't go near it. And I'm like running away. So dear God, they found me. So it was,
that's great.
But no, it was really cool. We did go to Bob Ashley's place. So we got to see, his collection, or the sides of the bins of his collection and stuff like that. Cause we got a quick tour. but it's so
I think
many
he's
different
just
species.
always on warp speed, man.
Oh, he has to be. I mean, but so
With
many
all the stuff
different
he has
species.
going, and it just naturally, that's the way he is. So, yeah, it was, that was super cool. I really appreciate that. And then he put us onto a couple of cool spots that we spent a lot of time. So that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And definitely, they actually they wound up just being awesome experience places for this trip. But in terms of, I think they'll be productive in the future. It just didn't kind of time up right with the weather we were getting and all.
Yeah, so they were cool places, but we didn't get the success until we moved to a different place other than the road cruising, which they said it was like really windy weather brought out the snakes, and we're like, that's not true. Like the videos that we have of like the Mojaves and the Diamondback, you can hear the wind going crazy because it was practically blowing us over.
40, 45 mile an hour wind.
And that's when the snake showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think it was more the temps probably even than the wind, but I tell you what, taking shots of rattlesnakes from 18 inches away while you're, 45 mile an hour winds at your back is a little
not ideal.
Sturdy bait.
Well, we had to call it because there was so much sand in Rob's eyes. He's like, I can't see. Like, we have to stop.
Right, because you're sitting there with them full, your eyes fully apertured and all to try and take those pictures and get shots that you like, and be it sitting there in swirling sand after, I don't know, an hour and a half of doing that, you're a little bit, it's a mess.
That was a productive night because that was the night we found the two Mojaves, the Diamondback, the Desert King, and then we found a couple of DORs. We found that big Atrox that had been hit by a car too, and a couple other things like that. So there was a lot. I was not expecting all the DORs. I guess that's just
there's a ton of traffic there for being as sparsely populated as it is. And I mean, that 80 was full of semis was the thing.
Right.
That even it's not all that many cars, I suppose, but man, all the ones that come through have a lot of tires. So I don't know, sort of reminiscent of some Australia stuff, but it was more, I think, than we've seen. Certainly in Texas, there were more DORs than we've seen in Texas.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I was, we did get the horned lizard. That one was,
a couple of them, same species, I believe, the mountain short.
Yeah. Bigger one and a tinier one. We had to wait for the tiny one to quit playing dead so we could actually take pictures of it, as opposed to like people
I guess
thinking
that
we
makes
just found
three, technically.
Oh, right. Three. Right. Yep. So it was a good time. It was a fun time. Good crew of people. Obviously Rob and Keith and me, and then add Justin in the mix, and then Tom fit right in with everything else. Like, it wasn't like he was an odd man out or anything like that. So it was a good time, good crew. Back to your old thing of like Airbnbs and eating the warm breakfast burritos at the gas station, and that's the only food you shall have until later.
Right? Maybe we're lucky to get a meal and a half. You got something, a half of something at some point, and then maybe a good supper or whatever, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of walking.
I felt bad that first day though. After we did we'd been hiking for about 6.5 hours or so, and we'd had a bar, Teresa with
fruit bar,
little oat bars or whatever, and we each had one, and that was it. And then it was like, well, we've been walking, the last 6.5 hours, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was super happy that people were still in good spirits and still putting up with the fight. It could easily have turned south on that, but no, everyone did really well.
Yeah, I mean, Justin and I did come up with a rating system for hikes, which is, Schmitty tiers. This hike is 3 Schmitty tiers. This hike is 4 Schmitty tiers. This hike is 4 Schmitty tier buckets. So yeah, that was.
That's great.
That was the first day. So, you don't get bitchy and you don't complain about it, but I'll just start making fun of things because that's my way of telling you that I'm done, tired. Please let me stop.
Right.
So it was, we walked all the way to the top of the one trail, and that's where we found the Scalopus lizards. I forget what they were.
We saw a ton of that stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, in terms of sort of things that are super cool, but not necessarily the targets in terms of the Uta and the Scalopus stuff. super fun to engage with and watch, and definitely some cool pictures.
But that's the cool thing, is that you aim for these big, super rare species, and then the other things kind of all fall into place, and you get a good accounting of it. But then, like, we got 2 freaking ridge nose and 2 banded rock rattlesnakes. I mean, I'll take that. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Would have liked to have gotten a blacktail. I'm still kind of jealous about the blacktail you guys got in Texas, because I like blacktails. So,
they're cool. I can't. Cerberus are cool, and price are cool, and tigers are cool.
Tigers would have been cool too.
I mean, I think to me the thing about it, right, is it's sort of the perfect experience in the sense that it's the sort of thing that you had a great trip, but also there's meat on the bone very clearly to see the same stuff again. And I suppose the other fun bit is we actually saw one of those 2 clobberi again. So we saw,
that's right. The next day
we saw one of the 2 again.
He was still there.
And we had to spend about 10 minutes trying to figure out if it was one of the ones.
It was the same one or not. We had to go through the pictures and be like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And then we finally just let it go again. But that was probably the cool part. And a lot of it also was like, Dustin and Bob, actually, they put us on to the good spots to check out and to set you up for success. So it was very cool to have some guides that knew what we were looking for and were willing to help.
Chris Sidarius as well. Chris Sid 24 on Instagram. Similarly, a local guy here that does a ton of stuff down there, had some great advice for us on kind of the heading into that last day. And heck, the best news of all was that you got to eat a 1.5 pound burrito and then go
walking
1,000 feet.
This is
that was pretty cool.
Whenever you're going on anywhere with Rob, and it's like, we're gonna have supper now, it'd be like, okay, the next question out of your mouth is what are we doing next? Planned for the rest of the fucking day? Because I'm sitting there and I'm eating this burrito, and I think Justin got one too, and we're both eating them, and then I look around and you got a small little rice bowl, and I'm like, oh no. I have made mistakes.
I have chosen poorly.
And then Rob's like, we're just gonna go a little hike, and I'm like, no, famous last words, no. And then it was up a mountain and all this other places, and it was not.
Turns
good.
out Keith really doesn't like heights, and he was more freaked out than I.
Well, Jesus Christ!
I just thought it was hilarious between you about the barf and Keith
that
was pretty fun.
Well, also it was. I mean, we're talking about roads that remind me of that one in Northern Territory where there was no road, and now imagine that road snaking up a mountain, and look, I'm looking down, and it keeps going. That's Excellent. That was several of the paths we took where it was like, if Justin just hooks the wheel to the right, we're all dead.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it was, all in all, it was a great trip. I was excited to see the animals that we did. And of course we did the normal MPR thing where we found a good scattering of the animals. Like, we didn't get so many gopher snakes that were like, Jesus Christ, we're not stopping for this one again. Right. Like, we got a good representation and stuff like that. And it was a great time.
That's cool.
I would totally do it again.
That's cool. Well, you guys better do it again, because I want to go.
Next is Florida, or I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there that might be easier for me, and I can sneak in and say that we're like, oh, we're visiting my mother-in-law. Yes, honey. And I'll just run off with you guys. So
there you go. Very good.
But it was definitely cool. Cool species, cool stuff. Awesome, just landscape and atmosphere. So I would definitely recommend it if you're on the fence of going herping in Arizona. Do it. Arizona, New Mexico. Yep.
Okay.
100%. Right on, guys. Well, folks will just have to check out Sunday for some more stuff, more details, more fun stories, and all the in-depth stuff. And hopefully we can have Justin or Keith or Tom or all three or some combination thereof join us as well, and get their perspective, additional perspectives, and all those things. But I know you got a show to do here with Terry, so I'll catch you guys later.
All right,
bye, Rob. And I also took a ton of video. So what Lucas and I are going to do is after the Sunday show, we're going to take that audio, cut it up with the videos that I created and the pictures, and we're going to splice something for the YouTube channel that goes through the entire trip. So even if you're not on the Patreon, there will be a video coming out on the YouTube
look
channel.
At us, high scale. High end. All right.
I took so much footage.
Nice.
Half of which can never see the light of day. But all the rest of it, cool.
Ever since I got this stand, right? Look how much space there is between my head.
Buddy.
And look how much space there is between your head.
There's a reason for that. You want to know why? You know why.
Man. Come on. Come on now.
Are you sitting on your booster seat?
Yeah.
Come on.
So
that was I don't know why you soft pitched me that one. You were like, I don't know why I'm short.
Yeah. Well, so there's that. So the contest, the 2022 MPR calendar contest, for people that may be new to the show, or maybe you don't know what we do here in MPR. We've been doing this since 2013. We've been doing a
holy
calendar contest
crap
every year. So
and we still can't get them out on time.
Well, no, I'm hoping. Yeah, well, I don't know. Who knows? Supplies might be crazy this year. Who knows what's going on? But
there was the one year. I think
and if it's going through the mail,
exactly, we got everybody's calendars in March.
Yeah,
God, we suck at this.
Yeah. So since 2013. We've been doing a calendar contest, and basically the whole idea is that we were trying to highlight the keepers and breeders of the Morelia from around the world.
Right.
We're trying to give them a platform to sort of show off their awesome animals. And, each year we sort of up the game as far as the shots and all. When we started the MPR calendar contest, the scrub python complex was all considered Morelia in the genus Morelia.
Them. Yeah.
Bull and I was considered Morelia.
What's weird is that this year we didn't get a single Bull and I or Owen Pelly submission.
Well, that might change maybe next year when people start hatching out.
But unfortunately, that is why Darwin's back in the calendar, because I fucked up and forgot it. Yeah, and then nobody entered in the Morelia on the Bull and I and the Owen Pelly, so that got heaved, and then Darwin got put back where it's supposed to be.
Well, I think you have to be a high roller in order to have a Bull and I, and if you have a Bull and I, you probably can't afford a camera.
Yeah, right. You've sold everything. Right, yeah.
You can't. You're sort of stuck. So basically, the categories break down as jungles, coastals, inlands, poplin carpets, diamonds, Bredli, Darwins. We throw the carpet python morph to encompass everything, both pure and cross
and whatever.
Alike. Yeah. We put green pythons in there, and roughies. They're still considered Morelia. We still throw in the scrubs because, I mean, come on, who doesn't love a scrub?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we pick a bonus category, and the bonus category
screwed us this year. You did this, and that's why we have the new rule that the winner from last year must pick, because you made this so goddamn hard because of your monitor kick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I swear it wasn't on purpose that I picked the monitor, but it actually turned out pretty good because we got some amazing shots, and that was a hard. We
almost
kind of went back and forth.
You almost made Monitor the Morelia of the year. Like you were like that almost happened. No, I hope you're happy.
There's going to be outrage if we pick
a Monitor Lizard for Morelia of the year. Yeah.
But anyway. So how it goes is we post up the contest we let it run for about a month over in the Facebook group, Morelia Pick of the Week, and Owen goes through and he narrows down the picks for me and for the guest judge. And what are you looking for, Owen?
I'm looking for good pictures. I'm looking for people try to sneak in multiple entries because you're only supposed to enter one animal, one shot. So people try to do that. So you look for that. You got to look for just what looks like a better calendar shot. And then it's mainly the first thing. And I try to narrow it down. In past years, I used to try to narrow it down to like 5, and then it was 10. This year, it had to be 15 because there were just that many good shots that I couldn't whittle it down. So what I've decided to do is that I think I started this last year, was whichever category could not get whittled down past a certain point, then all the other categories would get that many entries. So normally it was green tree python. This year, bredli was freaking stacked with good entries. It was insane.
There was a lot.
So I obviously, like I said, when we're whittling it down, the people who don't listen to the rules are the first ones who are disqualified.
Right.
So,
and then sometimes there's a really cool shot, but it might not be in focus.
Right.
It's a little out of, and it makes it tough.
Look right. That's hard. So
we had a couple of them this year. So, but we'll get into that.
So then we dice it down, and then I make my choice. You make your choice. The guest judge makes their choice. And then if there's a tiebreaker, we usually appeal to somebody like Rob, or you, me, and the guest judge sit down and discuss who can maybe kind of like champion their pick and see who changes. And then like I won 2 this year. You won 1 this year.
Plead your case to why you picked the picks you did.
Yep. So then we decide, and then those are the winners. Obviously, get a free calendar. The winner of the Morelia of the year gets to come back with us next year and now judge the calendar. And added bonus, you get to pick the extra thing for the following year. So Terry gets to come on here and talk to us about his picks, but then he gets to tell us what the extra category for next year is going to be.
Right. So Terry Burwell, who is going to be joining us right now. There he is. Welcome to the show.
Forget Terry. I want that.
Yeah. So Terry won
Morelia of the year last year.
Morelia of the year with this animal right
there.
There you go. And there's the shot. All beautiful right there.
Damn it. Now, Terry, is that a female or a male of your roughies?
This is a male.
Is it a boy? Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the sire of the kids you're trying to get rid of right now?
I don't think so. I'm not trying to get
no.
There you go. That's the shot.
There he is.
Yeah.
I mean,
so yeah, this is the male. He's in shed right now. He's a little darker, but he's been problem free except when it comes to breeding. So I didn't see any action until, fortunately, he is jealous. So when I got a new male and I grew him up, that male was great. And I did see pairings locks from this snake as well. But most of the breeding action comes from the other male. But this season, I have another female, a virgin female that I'm going to try. So we'll see if he likes her better.
Okay. And hey, for all you know, he's in there a little bit, or if he might get them ready for her, perfectly good.
And he could be. I asked Ben, with Rare Genetics Inc., if we could figure out, because they do the paternity tests, right, for pythons. And I asked if we could do that, and I don't remember what the end result was, but he's trying to figure out if there's enough genetic diversity even among rough-scale pythons to figure it out.
Oh my God, that's really interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Because they're all hideously related. They'd be like, yeah, they're related. I got nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. That's cool. That's a beautiful snake, man.
I love that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rough scales are,
Eric, you getting tired of yours yet? You want to send them back over to
Owens? They've won 2 years in a row for Morelia of the year. Which is pretty cool. So
I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah. So when Owen's over here busting my stones about a monitor kick, I don't know. It seems that I don't know.
Listen.
And IJ never won Morelia of the year. I'm just saying.
Because they don't deserve it.
Oh, how dare you, sir? How
I
dare
said
you?
It. Anyway.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start to go through category by category, and we'll break down the winner.
We should be wearing tuxes. I don't know
why
we're not.
And why we picked what we picked. But let's start with, what do you want to start with? What do you want to start with?
You know what I want to start with. Let's start with coastal.
Coastals.
Come on.
Okay.
Coastal
carpets pipe. What? IJs?
But,
start with IJs?
No, I didn't say that.
So why is coastal not in the?
Oh my God, you've already broken it.
What did I do here?
You had everything correct. We went through this.
Yeah, I did.
Everything was perfect.
We were prepared.
What did you touch?
No, that's not it. That's not it either.
That's not it.
Well, let's not start with coastals.
Okay, we won't start with coastal.
Damn you, Owen.
This was a test and you failed miserably.
I did not fail.
Start with Papuan.
There we go. Now,
there you go. Of course, you got that one ready.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I got to pull up who picked what here so I can kind of see who picked what. So for the IJ one,
you want to do
Owen and I?
Yeah,
we're in agreement.
Right? We agreed, which is weird, right?
Yeah, on IJ, but it just goes to show you the power of what this guy's laying down as far as
drag me over to the dark side. Yeah.
So, Mr. Here we go. The winner is
Papuan Carpet's Craig Woods. Once again, just blew it away. Look at this thing. Holy crap. So, obviously, this is why we picked this one. Insane amounts of color, beautiful picture, snakes in focus. Dear Lord. So, yeah.
That's sharp.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when we started this whole Morelia Python Radio podcast thing that I said that one day that IJs would be on par with jungle carpets.
It's getting close.
My friend, that day is near. We have arrived. What can you say? Come on.
Well, and also Craig just does really, really good IJs just by, how long has he been selectively breeding these things at this point?
I don't know. Only a couple of years.
Again, a couple of years just to get to this point. Obviously, he's got it dialed in. He's obviously knows what he's going for with his holdbacks, and it's just insane. Yeah. So, for all those people that told me that they were dirty brown snakes, I don't know who you. I have no idea who would do such a thing.
So, Terry, you picked a different one. What did you pick? You remember? You picked.
I picked number 2, one next to that one.
I think it was also one of Craig's, right?
Let's see if I can find
see it.
That one.
That one.
Which one? Okay.
All right.
Number 2. All right, fair enough.
Hold on. It was. Oh gosh.
I was so impressed with
Caitlin King's.
Okay. I was so impressed with these. I'm out of the loop with IJs, and I was looking at these. They're phenomenal. Just every one of these, just the contrast, but then the smoothness and the transition between the yellows to the browns to the blacks is just really, really cool. I could be persuaded pretty easily to
the dark
somebody
side.
could twist my arm and I could get some IJs. It's like, yeah.
I'm liking the look of these a lot.
They would be fun to play with.
One of the I'm going to just show this pic real quick, but just to show a different. Let me see if I can get this, but this here by Emily.
Yeah. That was nice.
I just love the way this thing looks with that lavendery brown and the black outline that sort of goes on the goes on right here is just, I don't know, man. There's just so much potential with these things. So if you're looking for, and the cool thing is that you can get unrelated stock and
get
wild caught
stuff.
animals and captive hatch stuff. And, so if you're snoozing on some IJ stuff, I suggest you
stop it. Yeah.
Stop before that door closes and you can't get it. But that category impressed me this year. I'm with you, Terry, that it's good to see them getting a little bit of love this year. So
cool.
So,
okay. All righty. So what's next, Eric?
Sorry.
Live, damn it.
Yeah. All right. So we did IJs. Let's go with how about, since everybody, this was a big category, why don't we go with the bread lie?
Right. Rip the Band-Aid off. Okay. How many people can we disappoint at once? That quickly.
We did it quick. Pull it off.
Wow.
This is a tough category as well, and it really came down to just the shot, in my opinion.
It was
so we got
so many bread lie
right here. I mean,
yeah. So Christian Parr wins the bread lie category for his bread lie that he's got shoved up in a tree, and it's just a really, really cool animal. I believe it was a hypo. I'm not exactly sure. I have to read this thing again. Yeah. Great color, really nice looking juvenile. You kind of want to see what it grows up into, but it's just a really cool shot anyway. What did you do?
What? Oh, shoot.
Put it back. Like, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, keep talking.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there we go.
I felt like the level of effort with the bread lie category was pretty good.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was they're like I said, every year the green tree python category usually is the one that is entered the most because green tree python people are crazy. But and it's usually like mostly the eyeball of the snake. It's never the full snake. So but this year bread lie just got swarmed. A ton of animals. All of them really, really good looking. It was really, really hard this year.
You know, one that really. So I'm gonna just real quick. I'm gonna let me stop sharing for a minute there, so I don't do something weird. But I'm gonna rip off a couple real quick
honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions that came that I saw. Man, you're right, man. All everything. It's like
everything was nuts.
Throw that coil up there. I like that coiled one.
The spin up.
Yeah. This one right here from Casey Cannon, right? I originally picked this one because I just really liked the again, it reminds me of Aboriginal art.
That would have been my second pick. Yeah.
And how it's coiled is just friggin' amazing. The color on that is amazing. Again,
when we're talking about animals that people sleep on, you could do a shit ton with bread lie just by line breeding and doing all that stuff, just bring out more reds and more colors. We've already seen that with things like a Forest lines and things like that. I think we're going to start seeing insane colored bread lie. That was
striped.
Dear God.
Hypo. I mean, that's next level, man.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever imagine that we would see a striped Bredli that looked like that?
No.
Did you? I didn't.
No.
I mean, because most of the striped stuff is dark,
like dark red. Yeah.
So the fact that Nick is at this point, well, I mean, he's kind of the Bredli guy. You know what I mean? That's kind of his gig. But it's good to see that they get some love. Here was another one. This was a hypo. I just thought that this was just a really cool shot. But, again, everybody can't be a winner, just that the whole head thing.
Yeah, that was a cool shot too.
And then, so that was a hypo. And then I kind of liked this one. It's just the classic, Bredli look. And I just thought,
I like that too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That dark red and just on the rock.
Yeah. Casey's got a lot of really good looking bread lie too. So, I mean, it was just, again, it was just hard as hell this year. But yeah, we settled on the hypo bread lie juvenile. But God, that was a hard category. You guys need to not make it so hard. Like, just everybody, next year's categories, everybody put your ugly snakes, your ugly browns. So.
All right. So, well, staying in that same vein, let's do the inland category.
Yes.
Which I'm going to predict right here in 2021.
Once
people start getting into these, like they got into Bredli and IJs, I think that you're going to see an explosion of these snakes because, again, I know everybody sort of puts Bredli as this, the perfect pet carpet python, but they the only drawback with them is that they gain some size. They can be big, but with inlands they don't get quite as big. And So we're going to go with that one. And
Inlands are going to be one of those ones where like every year the category, like however many entries they were, that's how many make it to like the next round, because there's no cutting off, because there's just that few of entries. Till 1 year, it's going to end up being like 50 entries. Like it's just going to explode, just like Breadlight did. So that'll be cool when that happens to kind of see how that goes.
Yeah. So the inland category was William. I think it's his last name is Philippek, right?
Did you not put it in here?
I don't know what's going on here, Owen.
I don't see it. I don't think you did.
I think what's going to help these guys more than anything is getting them in people's hands, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That blue sheen that you see in real life, just you can't capture that in a photo very well.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, the more popular they get, the more popular they're going to get. So it's great.
It's taking a look at a Mog line inland for the first time, and you're like, oh my God, it's like an Exana Coastal without any of the work. It's like just there. Yeah. So like that's the base model. So
again, you know, one of the things that I love about carpet pythons, this is the one that I persuaded Owen over with.
He won this one.
Again, you know, I've been getting into like Aboriginal history and art and all this kind of stuff as of late, and just like researching and studying and reading about it and whatnot. But like you can see in the animals where the art comes from, you know, I mean, if you look at a Kimberley rock monitor or a carpet python, or, you know, you pick the reptile there or whatever, but those patterns and the dots and I don't know, man. That's just mesmerizing, and that's big chunky head.
Let's say that block head,
dude. It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I really dig it.
This was a tough one, because I think the one that you picked, Terry, was also pretty darn sharp. You know, that was the one that Owen sent, or I deleted. Yeah,
oh my God. I do all this work, and he just, you know, and I was gone for like 10 days, and then the podcast falls apart. Once again, we figured out that I am the true power behind the throne. I'm the real pod father.
Okay.
You know, it's
you keep saying that, but okay.
That's the one Terry picked.
This is the one that Terry picked.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't know what it was. Was it the eye that got it for you with this one?
I mean not now.
Up, but,
no, I think I mistook. Is the one with the tongue out is the one that I picked.
Oh
no, wait, this is the one.
That's
you
one
picked,
I picked.
Owen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
One I picked.
Yeah. And then you picked. Let me pull it up.
That's one I picked, and I liked it because the full body and the nice gray. Blue color is kind of awesome.
You like a full-bodied calendar shot?
I do. I want to see the full snake laying out like some sort of calendar girl. Yeah, that's the one. Terry picked, which I like. I do.
I like that. It seemed like it had that in the wild in situ aesthetic, and then a shot without a tongue out versus a shot with a tongue out is just, I mean, man, it just elevates it.
It makes it all just so much cooler. So, that is awesome.
Okay.
Owen does have good taste.
Okay. So congrats to William there. He's the winner of the inland one. So very cool.
Very.
All right. Sorry, I'm jostling a lot of things.
You are.
If my co-host would just talk while I'm trying to jostle these things,
I'd rather just stare at you.
You would,
I've missed this. It's
not
so
like
much
we're
better
doing
this way. What category do you want to do next, my liege?
I don't know. What are you thinking? What are we doing?
All right, we'll do coastal. I'm just gonna click buttons now.
No, we can't do coastal yet.
No, we can't do coastal. He's not ready. Do jungle carpet.
Okay, let's do jungle.
All right, we'll do jungle carpet. Carpet.
I mean, who doesn't love a jungle carpet?
Who doesn't love a jungle carpet?
Black and yellow.
Yep, is Anthony Santiago, who dropped a really killer striped jungle, and this is another one that you won because I had picked the gelatin, and then Eric,
the gelatin.
Yep, and then Eric and I were completing our cases. And he got me to switch to the striped jungle from Anthony Santiago because there it is. And holy crap.
Wow.
I mean, that was my second pick anyway, because like Eric, I'm a sucker for stripes. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I think
That's cool.
that the Striped Jungle Project in the U.S., outside of the U.S., or I should say in Australia, those guys
kicking our ass.
They're crushing it down there when it comes to striped jungles. In fairness, though, they have wild stock that they
there's
can
that,
get,
yeah.
So,
but you'd think by now, with all the other breeding lines and morph stuff and polygenic traits that we've got hammered out, that we could get striped jungles worked out at this point. Two good animals.
Very surprising that we don't. I mean, you would think that that would be something that we would sort of nail down. I know myself. I know Riley's working on a striped jungle project. I know Justin worked on one in the past. I don't know where he's at.
I have a small one going on here. It's kind of weird. But
I think with this snake and why I picked this snake is not only the stripe, but to me, the most important part of a jungle carpet, everybody focuses on the yellow. Everybody focuses on the yellow. But if you look at that black on that snake, right behind the stripe of that snake, there is not a speck. It's just solid black,
Yeah.
And if you could keep refining that to make it a stripe to where you would have like a yellow stripe, a black stripe, and then a pinstripe yellow down the back, come on, game over, man.
I mean that's the idea is that which would you go for first, stripe or color? I think what we should stop doing is trying to play with the color and just try to get the stripes going.
I think we nailed the color.
Right, we got the color. Color's good. Like, we cannot improve on the color anymore. It cannot get more yellow. Like it is. So I'd say just start breeding for the stripe, and then you can always go for color a little bit later and crush it. So, yeah. Gorgeous animal. Terry, you thinking about jungles now too?
Not
no.
No.
All right.
Nope.
No. All
I
right.
like to look at them, but no.
Yeah. Let's jump out of the
normal Morelia,
the carpets real quick, and let's go to usually the one that's very hard to judge. But this would be
green tree python.
Green tree pythons and Mr. Mark Hager down there in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Mark came out with that one.
Texas chondros.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
this shot to me, I mean, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, come on, man. Again, I guess I'm starting to see what you like, Terry, the tongue. Because me and you picked that, and come on, man. I mean,
again, that would have been my second pick.
That is just
it is insane, and it's you kind of almost like figure out why chondro guys are like they're mystical little dragons. Like, dear God, like that's crazy.
The contrast and the focus on the scale is like this is a baby snake, like we know how small chondros are when they're born, and to get this much detail in that shot is that's really impressive. That's great.
Insane.
And the composition of the picture itself, where it's highlighted with the black and the shadows and certain
you can
spots,
see the little like the stripe
the light is
on its eye, like the little yellow scales coming in various places where you would see like the normal baby markings. Like it's a really cool animal, and it's a really cool pick. So,
what's up, Mike? We're gonna get to monitors. Don't worry.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
We got lots of love for.
Don't worry. That was that category was almost a full out. When we can't decide who to pick, we then have to discuss. Then when we go to a tiebreaker, and then if that doesn't work, Eric and I have to bare knuckle box in the parking lot to figure out who's going to win. We almost got to the parking lot on the monitor category. So,
right. That's
never
true.
again. Never doing them again.
Yeah. Don't say that. Don't say that. All right, I'm going to go to and you guys take over there for a second, and I'm going to grab this.
There was a cool water shot with the chondros. That was pretty cool.
Post up the spray, the one that I picked, my chondro pick, if you can.
Okay,
because
give me 1 second.
This was going to be my,
And why did you pick this one?
because it looked awesome. Like it was because it looked cool. Because I don't know, water was involved.
It's got a cool artistic quality to it. I just didn't want to start a should we spray or not spray chondro debate.
Always spray the chondros. It's it's always
look, they sprayed in the calendar. So
yeah, all right. Good point. Good point.
Well, here's the thing: you have to spray in Texas. You know what I mean?
Well, it is a dry place. I was only there for 5 minutes when I was on my way back from Arizona, and that was enough.
Yeah.
So
it depends. East Texas is super humid, but West Texas, West Texas is not humid.
You're in East Texas, or you out in where are you?
In the Carolinas now.
I'm in South Carolina.
You moved. That's
right.
You
got to keep up.
I can't remember. I can't remember where you are. I should though, because that means rough scales are closer. So
that's right. Yeah, we're in the same time zone now.
Oh my God. It's so weird.
This was Owen's pick.
Yeah.
Real quick here. Put this up so you guys can see it, which again is an awesome shot. You know, the only thing that could have beat for me that would have beat out right there.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Yeah.
Because it's just cool.
Yeah. The only thing that I think, I mean, the most amazing chondro that you can get is a green snake with the white stripe and the yellow belly. I mean, to me, that's the epitome.
Disagree.
Like a nice aru. Like I like that aru that was submitted.
Yeah.
But just the fact that it was on a dowel rod versus a natural, I mean, I know we keep them all in cages, but I want to maintain the illusion that we're not keeping them in cages.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it just comes down to that, where it's like, this one wins just because it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. It's weird. And that's what
talking about.
There you go. That's
exotics.
Awesome. That's Eric's favorite kind of chondro. Mine is the almost all yellow ones with some green scales.
Mm-hmm. I like more of a solid stripe, like you see in the Australian stuff, like the Cape York stuff. But yeah, that's an amazing snake, man. But the composition of that one that Mark put up. I mean, Mark takes amazing pictures. The other one that he put up was cool too.
He crushes it. He's got at least and he follows the rules too, so it's not like the same animal. He does submit like 5 different animals, and I'm like, you're killing me, man.
He's the man. He look at that.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, it was like just a demon like that.
Yeah, yes,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, definitely demon. I think his names are so cool too. I think it's like Wuhan.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts. So
I think isn't that the one in between all those, the green and black and yellow one? Isn't that one his also?
I think so. Let me see if that one was.
Yeah, those are very, very.
And I want to say that potentially also might even have some sickness blood in there if he's trying to do name it Wuhan or something like that. So, and also I do know he's close to Bill Stiegel. So.
Well, I know he does a lot of calico stuff, so I don't really know anything about GTPs, but
me either. They just sit on sticks.
You never got sucked into that down there, huh? I mean, there's a lot of GTP people down there.
No, I did. In fact, I contacted Mark and I asked him. I said, just hypothetically, if I were to get into green trees,
how would I do that?
what should I do? And I was trying to get Patrick's Beox. I was trying to get him to let go of some of those, and we had talked about a trade for roughies and stuff like that, and it just didn't materialize. And then I moved, and I was renting a place for a while, and then we moved into a house, and now I'm building the building. So there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to get, but I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Building first, and then you'll have a ton of new space, and then that space will quickly be gone.
Exactly.
And then you'll be like, what happened? Trust me, I've been here. So, yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Are we ready for coastal carpets?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
You can answer. You're the only one that can answer that question.
Yeah. Good point.
That is true.
Okay. So,
coastal.
I think when you think coastal carpets, only one person comes to mind.
I mean, he's one of the dudes
Eric
that's
Hernandez,
absolutely crushing everything.
Yeah.
If you want a red, you're going to Hernandez, and that's it.
Yeah, next level. So, at first, I didn't pick this pick. I picked I picked a snake that I purposely didn't pick a snake that I produced, but I wanted to, but we went with this one. And
Terry
I
picked
think
a
it was
snake you
because
produced.
that it was low res, but when we actually looked at the pick that was better,
yeah,
it's a red coastal,
and like I didn't want to go for the jag. I just want the straight up red coastal.
Yeah.
Like that is gorgeous. And people need to understand is that when we started red coastal, they looked really good as babies, but then they grayed out around this age. They would lose all their red and just kind of gray out a little bit, or they wouldn't be as cool. So by line breeding them, Eric and Jason have been able to produce these insane reds that have been kind of the stuff that we would only kind of dream of when I had like my first little red tiger babies. And I'm like, here, oh my God, they're not brown. Like it's a red color. So having those is awesome. And that's just a cool snake. Reminds me a lot of, I believe it's Madame Blueberry line, but we'd have to check with Eric, but that's a killer animal.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It has to be.
So, what the picture that Terry picked was a snake that I produced.
Right. And I have a sister too.
This has been a long project for me. Obviously I don't do jags anymore, but I gotta say, man, these animals I produce are just freaking phenomenal. Between the one that you got and this one here, and I think somebody else got one, and I don't know, man. They're bone white, and again, back in the day when we were,
when I picked up V,
the bone white jag, it's pretty cool to see that exists. The fact that it's orange in the saddles and it's highlighted with black is just amazing. The stripe going down the back, the bald back like a tiger jag. Well, basically these are red tiger jags, right? So this is from my V to Molly Ringwald pairing, and man, the results are just phenomenal. So if you think this snake is cool, wait till you see Molly 2.0. I haven't updated her in a while. So
I mean, it's
so what is this? Is this
this is a red jag.
Red jaguar. Okay.
Well, red tiger.
Red tiger jaguar.
Red tiger jag. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just awesome. I mean, like I have this animal's sister. And like Eric was talking about at the beginning years, there was always that picture of Benjamin, which is Will Leary's white jaguar. And everybody wanted that. But then nobody realized that Benjamin kind of yellowed out as he got older. And like these things have just kind of kept this creamy colored. I just shot the picture of mine over to Eric. So, but this is what we always kind of wanted and thought about. So having this bone white kind of jag with these cool red markings is just killer. I love it.
And I think this picture is awesome. I think the thing that that kind of threw it off is just the out of focus.
A lot of it was out of focus.
Yeah. Which really sucks.
A lot of it was out of which. Yeah.
So this is Brian Hayes, an awesome guy. He has awesome animals. He's really after some red stuff. So he has some stock from me, has some stock from Eric.
I'm thinking we're going to see. We'll see this snake again. I think in these calendar categories.
Oh yeah.
I would hope so, because that's gonna be cool.
Here's the one from Owen. I'll real quick throw this up here.
Comparisons,
so you can see.
Have we ever had the same snake win a category more than once? Has that happened?
Probably.
I imagine in the Bolins would be pretty common, but I was wondering. That'd be kind of interesting.
We don't pay attention that much, but we have had snakes in that. There's my girl. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a sibling to that one. I love the head stamp on this one.
I know.
It's like a turtle. It's a sea turtle.
To get that long snout thing going on, and oh god, I love this animal. Yeah. But I got a red tiger from Buddy to breed with her later on. That's the red tiger that you keep saying is one of the best caramels I've ever produced, Eric.
Yes.
So, and I'm like, no, I didn't. Never mind. So it's, but
that's
a fun project.
Animal. So, all right. So we have
Coastal IJ. Jungle. Green tree python. What's next?
There we do.
Dare
Diamond pythons.
Yes.
Okay.
Bring it on.
That's one that's near and dear to me and Terry's heart here.
Yes,
but
sir.
I can't imagine why. I mean, Terry's only hatched out like a freaking ton of them. Like
he's produced some killer ones.
I mean, dear God.
He was on the show and shared her story of them all escaping into his garage.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even as a guest judge, he snuck in here and entered the diamond category. I saw, and I'm like, wait a minute. I guess it's allowed, and I threw it in there, but that's the diamond winner from
Michael Payne. Yeah.
Such a cool animal.
I mean, first of all, it's hard to compete with the picture of the color of a diamond python. I mean, they're just there.
I have to concede to you guys because you guys actually have diamonds. I don't So, but I love that. I love the heads on
yeah,
this thing.
I think one of my favorite things about carpet pythons and what kind of drew me to them, as opposed to say like the other types of pythons like Liasis or ball pythons or Angolans or Burmese or stuff like that, is the head structure. Right? It's almost like they got these markings right here that come down along the heat pits. It looks. I don't know, like it's just like tribal or something, and they got these heat pits that are going along the side. They got these big, like the big jaws in the back, and I don't know, man. They're just whenever you can capture that, to me, that's I don't know. I'm loving that pick.
Terry, you're just working with straight wild diamonds. You're not doing any like reduced pattern or anything like that.
I've had in one of my pairings, I've had 2 reduced patterns hatch out both times that I bred them. But coincidentally, in both clutches, both of those reduced, all 4 of them died.
Oh, really?
So they didn't make it very long, and so this year, same thing happened, and I had 2 reduced patterns, and one of them died about 3 weeks ago. I found it and I was like, that's a bummer, but at least I have the other one, and it was a pair. And so I was like, all right, well, I've got the male still, at least I have the male. And I was kind of babying the male. And then I went in the other day and it was dead. And so, phenotypically we can say that maybe something happened in incubation, or maybe genetically something happened. And maybe the phenotype is reflecting something genetic that's not right. And in mine, I'm not saying it's a blanket statement for all reduced pattern diamonds, but yeah, I've had some, and but kind of what I feel like I'm getting known for with that 2019 clutch anyway is high yellow. Like some of mine really had turned into really high yellow adults.
Yes.
So
doesn't
Martin?
No,
he's something that produces high yellow. Yes.
no.
Well, he has one. He has probably the best, some of the best offspring.
Maybe it is Martin. Maybe it is him then. Yeah, maybe.
He has some of mine that. So like he started posting up these pictures, and I was like, holy cow, because I'd never hatched diamonds before.
Right.
So I knew they were going to get better, but I didn't know they were going to get that good.
Seller's remorse.
Seller's remorse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sold him, these brown muddy snakes, and then he's like, hey, do you have any more? This is what they look like. And I was like,
no, I don't. Get away from me. They're all mine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about it. So this year we got Adelaide and Onyx is the pairing that I did in 17, and that escaped in the garage. And Sparkle Mad Mardigan, that's the one that in 17 or 19, I'm sorry, I killed him in the maternal incubation, right? Like I just doused him with water, and they ended up going bad. So both pairings went this year. So it'll be cool that this is the first time I've seen Sparkle Mad Mardigan babies, and those adults are brighter yellow than Adele and Onyx.
So wow, it's going to be interesting. Now, are you going to wait to grow them up a little bit, or are you still just going to kind of roll the dice and let them go and hope you don't sell the really, really good ones?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let them go. I'm starting to trickle them out, and I've got my eyes on some, and I figure a good way to make sure a snake stops eating is to write "hold back" on its
Yes,
tongue.
yes.
Just write "hold back," and it's like that snake is doomed from here on. So
very true.
Just whichever one's eating really well, that's one you're going to consider maybe a holdback. Don't commit. Yeah.
So but the nice thing, going back to diamonds, the nice thing is that they're so variable, and there's not a single look I don't like.
Yeah, I would 100%. Agree.
I like the really dark ones. I like the really light ones. I like the white and black ones. I like the yellow. I like all of it. It's really,
I've
really
never
cool
seen
snake.
a diamond I don't like. You are correct. Yeah,
exactly.
Damn it.
Okay, so diamonds.
One day when I have more space, I'll do some diamonds.
Yeah.
So we have, diamonds. Who knows? Maybe one day I guess that I don't know if that it says Ty, but I don't know if it's Scott or Ty, but we'll go with Ty. He keeps pushing to keep them outside if you can. And I would love to do that. Even if it's for just the summertime or something. I think it would be cool.
When you retire to Florida and you can stand out on your balcony and play your guitar, you can look at your diamond pythons over your backyard. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so diamond pythons. Congrats, Michael Payne.
Totally cool.
That is,
very good.
Yes, diamond.
Very, very cool. So, all right. So let's move on.
It's Scott, not Ty.
Oh, okay. Hey, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
So diamond pythons outside. That's something we're working on. All right, next. What do you want to do? You want to do carpet python morphs? You want to spice it up here?
Let's go into morphs.
Yeah, let's do morphs.
Okay.
Another hard category.
Yeah. But when you have a hard category and you can't pick one,
the best thing to do is just throw them all in there.
Let's pick them all.
Yeah. Here. Yeah. Nick throws this picture in, which we tried to identify at least 4 or 5 different morphs right as I can see them, because there's a super zebra.
Let's see, I'm gonna go. Yeah, we got a zebra.
Yep.
We got zebra.
Yep.
Super zebra.
Yep.
We got, this is probably a Tully jungle.
Probably. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is an Exantic.
Yeah, I would.
We have some kind of IJ. No, that's a Darwin. That's his Tiger Darwins.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. And then you got a
Hypo Bredli.
Hypo
Bredli. Yeah.
And then an albino.
You have a normal Bredli in there too, because this Bredli over here to the left looks different than, I guess, no, it is all one Bredli.
No, it's all one.
All right. Yeah. So you filled the entire screen full of.
I think it's a little ironic that the man that doesn't like morphs wins the morph category.
Wins the morph category. That's also funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarity does play a role in, us choosing as well. If it's ironic and funny, yeah, you'll win.
I think what I love about this shot is that that might be a gelatin now that I'm looking at these sides here.
I don't know.
But the thing that I love about this shot is it just shows the variability of carpet pythons.
Yeah.
Whether you want a normal jungle, a super zebra, a Bredli, a dark, you just have so many color palettes and patterns and to go and work with, and pretty much something for everybody. But yeah,
and there's not one snake in the pile that looks like any of the other ones.
Yeah,
which is killer. Yeah. So
I would imagine. Yeah, go ahead.
What is this one that looks like marble? What is that one? Not in this shot, but in the other results. I think it's the one that I chose.
The caramel granite. Right? The
let's see.
With the black background.
Yeah. That was my second pick. I really liked that animal, which is weird for me.
This is another category that I feel like people really they came to play. These are really good shots.
That's the thing.
So which one did you pick?
He picked the caramel granite. Is
it the one with the head?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
messed it up again.
Yeah, hold on. Let me hold on. There we go.
There we go. Much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That was my
That's
second
amazing,
void.
man.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Very cool.
God
And
damn
it just blends into that branch.
Well, and that's the thing is like when we didn't used to have the morph category, I think we were missing out on just straight up cool looking snakes, as opposed to like, hey, I know they're horrible mutts and Frankenstein's monsters and yada yada, but they're badass looking. So you know, you got to be able to appreciate that thing's just cool looking, just the way it is. Like, you know,
whose snake is that? Do you have it written on?
It should say on the thing. Yeah.
Andreas Lowbrand.
I think he's entered a couple things before, zebra jags and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's cool. And I do love granites. I mean, being a man that has produced granites through Jason Balin,
does it count?
Yes, it does. It does. Ask anyone, but please, God, don't answer in the chat. But don't actually ask anyone. But they're still a cool snake, and I do love granites. They're one of my favorite morphs, and I wish that people could do more with them or had done more with them, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I think when I was talking about stripes, I think this is one just worth and this is from Caitlin Jane King. And I think this is worth a share, because when we talk about striping, we kind of have it down when it comes to coastal stuff.
Yeah.
But imagine that yellow and black snake with that pattern. You know what I mean? It's just nuts. So
that's cool.
But there you go. Carpet python morph. Okay. Now we're going to move on to a category near and dear. Let's see.
To my heart.
Bring on the roughies.
Do it.
Yeah,
push the button.
So again, some cool shots as far as roughies go. But Mr. Peter here.
Yes.
Come on.
I mean, that just looks pissed off too.
Whew. I mean, yeah, man. We all, it's funny. As far as the one category that we all agreed on,
Ruffy.
This is the one. So I think we like rough scale pythons, but I mean, that's just, that's just an awesome shot.
And like, it looks like it's about to do the threat display from its bottom jaw, which is kick ass. And it just looks so cool. And like what Terry was saying in the beginning, it gives the illusion that, we're out in the wild or something like that.
I'm in my mind, I'm looking at this snake and I'm at the camp in the Kimberleys. I think what is it, Shangri-La? Is that what he calls it?
Yeah.
And I'm at the camp. It's at night, and I'm looking up into a tree, I can hear the mosquitoes, and when I look at this shot, like it gives me goosebumps. Like
this is after seeing this is where Owen just crumples down and starts weeping. Like Eric has to pick me up after this. So yeah. God, that's beautiful,
man. That's cool. And also, I mean, after the O'Shea interview, I feel like that interview brought that whole story more to life, made it more real to me, and super cool.
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
to hear that from the man himself, was pretty cool. So rough scales. Again, it's another snake, man. I think everybody snoozes on them. I think everybody snoozes.
They should more for me. Like I don't tell people to go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but amazing stuff. All right, cool. All right, congrats to Peter. Let's see what do we got next? You want to do scrubs? Let's do.
Yes, do the scrubbies.
Scrubs. Okay. Again. Scrubs are another one, always a hard one to pick.
Is it too late to suggest 12 calendars, one from each category? I mean, I've thought about that.
I have, yes.
Yeah, screw it. Just the one coastal calendar. Problem is that we can't just design them all to be ready to print. We have to choose. I mean,
when's it going to be one of those calendars where you rip off a page every day?
Yeah, and it'll just be multiple
just 365
pictures.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought there, Terry.
I don't think we could get that many, but maybe.
So so Owen kind of convinced me to change my pick to this, and the reason that I started with my pick originally is because Shane had hatched out Halmahera scrubs this year. Chuck did it last year, and I thought, man, what a way to document that and have it in that calendar that 20 that happened. I know it was in 2021, but the snake's coming out of the egg, and they don't always make for great shots, but so we decided to go with this one, which is just an awesome shot. I mean, the red eye, the light color, Aspen, Mahan, Halmahera python. Goddamn.
I think that Halmahera has won the last 3 years of scrub python, which, because I think Halmahera was in last year's calendar. So
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I think Halmaheras are the ones to be beat now. I think they're just kind of owning the scrub category. So
Dennis McNamara. This is the one from last year.
Yeah,
which was also a good shot.
And they're so different too. Just looking at the two of them.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I don't know the island, but I know recently there was some pictures of basically. I would assume that they're the same species, but it's like an adjacent island, right off of Halmahera, and it kind of looks like Halmahera, but a little bit of a different pattern. But very, very cool.
Extremely cool.
It's so exciting, with Chuck and now Shane, and it seems like I'm so excited about that. And I've been watching Moluccans. I don't know if anybody hatched. I know a guy got a big clutch of Moluccans this year, but I don't know if they hatched.
What was his
name? Not yet. He's going to be coming on the show at the beginning of December.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm blanking on his name right now. What is wrong with me?
And
but he got a clutch of Moluccans, and I want to say that's the only clutch that I can gauge in the country.
Yeah, I thought for a minute at the beginning of the year that we might have Halmaheras, Moluccans, and Bull and I all hatch in the United States. So it was we're going to hit the trifecta.
That's it. We can all retire. It's hooray. But Moluccans, if I ever wanted to do scrubs again.
Yeah, it's Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. If I ever wanted to do scrubs again, it would be Moluccans. I loved my Moluccans.
I'm gonna real quick put Shane's picture up just because. And
awesome.
if you're curious about what Shane did to hatch them out,
go listen to the Shane episode.
Go listen to the
Shane episode. That was a really good episode. Yeah,
I actually took his advice and I built that tunnel system for my Timor pythons. And I came home from Arizona and I couldn't find my male. And I'm like, oh God, where the hell is he? I had left the tunnel open when I was gone, and he was in the female's cage, chilling with her in the hide box. I'm like, all right, it's working. I'm going to back away very slowly. Clearly none of you want me here. That's just the classic bar neck that,
again, with these bars that are right here. Man,
I do love a good bar neck.
I mean, the light color.
Dave Means enters a couple bar necks every year, and they're all good shots. And I know he's won a couple years before, but I mean, a good bar, you can't really beat a good bar neck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful stuff. I would, some Australian scrubbies would be nice. Maybe.
That'd be cool. Yeah. You got to find some, take some pictures of them.
I wonder who those people would be to do that.
Slackers. Okay, so next we have the Darwin Carpet. And I actually picked a different one, but
Terry and I twisted your arm and beat you into our
You
camp.
guys picked different pictures
of maybe the same snake,
from the same guy.
The same guy, yeah. So
Ben Frame, also has been on MPR. But let's let's get this.
A lot of these guys have been on MPR. Weird.
So at first I was sort of leaning towards the one that Terry picked, but then because I just like the composure of the picture, but and then I saw why Owen picked this one because it's close up.
Yes.
That's nice.
I mean,
is there a better albino?
No. No. I mean, compare that to albino retics and albino berms. They're white and yellow. We get like white, yellow, purple. Like,
see this right here? You can't really see. You can kind of see it there, but like this is all lavender, man.
Yeah,
this is right here and all that. That's all lavender. But
I've heard other people who keep other types of reptiles admit that Darwin albinos are probably one of the prettiest albinos out there.
Yeah.
So
remember when they were so rare?
Yes.
Like, to even think about having an albino carpet python was just like.
Well, you remember that dude in Hamburg showed up and put 2 in my hands, and I was texting you, and I'm like, guess what I'm holding?
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But and I guess we'll share the other side. So the one my sort of runner
albino retic. What's wrong with you, Brett? Kick him off the thing.
Did Brett say that?
Brett said that. Let's all boo this man.
Brett, what's going on with you, man? You're making me question everything I know about.
Has a head injury. He's
stirring up trouble. He's been asking me to breed my Ruffy to.
Ruffy to what? Get him out of here.
Just about anything.
Just about anything.
I'm a huge fan of these hypo Darwins.
Yeah,
that they got going down. It's I think Alex and
that's so cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. There was even some wild type Darwins that were entered in that like looked almost on the same page as those IJs, where like the colors were extremely bright and people were working with that kind of stuff. I mean. I think people are sleeping on Darwins. Where you can do a lot with a Darwin,
100%,
not just an albino.
Everybody's focused on the albino, and a lot of the people that entered Darwins entered albinos. And like again, we just talked about how nice they are and everything, and that's great. But like, there's a lot of potential with Darwin carpets, and
there is.
You see like what they're doing down there in Australia, and they're doing really, really, really amazing stuff. Like check out Alex Life or on oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. I just said his name. What the hell? Don't. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, I thought that so just so people know, like why Owen changed my mind. I really love this snake, but I think it's the composition of the pick,
right?
That sort of is like
it's a great animal. It's just
it turned the wrong way.
Exactly.
Thing,
It was flipped around.
You take this picture, you put it on a pumpkin, you throw some candy corn on the bottom, white background, some corn, a hay bale, and that's Mr. October.
Actually, I would make Eric put it in his July just to confuse people.
So when you see that, and then you compare it to like a shot like that,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying. So that's sort of like
that's January. That's got to be January, right there.
I mean, Eric just does it. I don't. It'd be weird if people start staging their pictures for certain.
I don't know if people notice, but Morelia of the Year, the Mahdi Award, usually is the October.
Because that's the anniversary.
Yeah.
So it's almost Eric and I's China anniversary or whatever the hell. I don't know what the.
Now we come to the
most disputed category, the one where we monitors.
We're gonna beat each other up about.
We came down. We each picked a different one.
Well,
and then it was difficult.
Let's start with.
And then Eric picked 4.
I did. I picked 4.
Terry and I picked 1, and then Eric's like, I can't pick between 3. So it was.
So this is one Terry picked. This was a lace monitor, and this was by our good friend Justin Julander. And oh shit, let me take that.
I'm like, no, I didn't pick that one.
You didn't pick that one?
No, I think when it comes up on my email, it formats it weird. But what is this one right here on the rock? Can you see that?
Oh, he picked the Oh, that was one of Eric's picks.
Pilberensis?
The
hammer slayensis.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So anyway, that was a lace monitor found in Mossman Gorge, which I thought was cool.
That was cool. When I first saw that, I thought it was a croc monitor.
Close. I mean, they're just different colors.
We got this Pilberensis right here. Is that it?
No,
it's the other one. Okay,
no, the one on the rock wall.
Yep. Okay. So this was I wonder if it was the Kimberly Rock.
No,
I don't think so.
We looked at earlier.
Oh, okay. So this is like to me is like a Bradley in a monitor form, which is just amazing. But that's also by Justin.
He wanted the hammer that not even gonna try that one. The other one.
You're not going for it?
Nope, not doing it. Scott's here. I'm not doing it.
I don't care. He can yell at me. He's gonna yell at me anyway.
Doing it.
So.
I won't do it.
Hammer slayensis.
There you go. That's the one that Terry picked, and that was one of the 4 that you picked.
Oh no!
No, God damn it!
What am I doing? Oh my God! Don't mind me. I'm like I told you, I'm a little under the weather. I'm trying, people. I'm trying.
This one. That one.
No. I got it. I got it right here. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm a little slow.
Hold on. We'll get there.
I feel like we're playing Pictionary here.
There
draw it. Dry erase board.
There it is.
Yes. That's the one. That's also Hammer slayensis by Justin took that pick as well. So I believe, and again, this is the part I might butcher, but I started talking to Rob about this, and apparently they used to be one species and then they were separated out to 2 species.
So that's our excuse.
Or they might be subspecies.
No,
Scott, are they subspecies?
No, please don't do this.
Just answer in the chat so I know.
Yeah,
he will. Let's see.
But no, that's a cool picture. That is cool. That was Terry's pick.
What is this again?
Hammer slayensis.
Hammer slayensis?
Yes.
The lizard.
Hammer slayensis. Is it?
Yes. Okay. So again, from my understanding, they used to the Pilberensis and the Hammer slayensis used to be
full species.
So they're full species. So they used to be together, and now they're separated to full species status.
Okay,
so.
but is it Odotria? Is it is it dwarf? Okay, cool.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I just like that picture. I like the
it is cool. It's a really cool. That, like I said, Eric whittled his choices down to 3, and it included mine, yours, and another one. So it was
actually I picked 4, Owen.
Right, 4. I'm sorry, and then we argued, and then I ended up folding and going with him on one of the ones that I didn't pick. So
this was Owen's pick.
This was my pick. Yeah. I just love it. It's so funny.
I mean,
it's just a pissed off Goldie.
That's going full monitor, man. I mean, and I think the thing that we were worried about with this pick, and again, this was Justin took this pick, was that if we blew it up to calendar size, it might not be in focus, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's just so cool.
And I also, I mean, it wouldn't be Eric on his monitor kick if I didn't include
of course we're gonna
the Luke's Kimberly Rock. I mean, come on, man, these are the hands down the best monitor. They're my favorite.
I did see recently pictures of your 2 of your 3 little ones, which I assumed one of them was the Great Lord of the Kimberly.
Yeah,
and
one on the top.
He looks like he's doing well. So again, these are just cool little lizards. I totally dig them with their long tails.
That's good. That's good rock work. Did Luke do that?
Yeah, didn't he?
That's good.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, Luke, Beachy Scaly Beast, if you are looking to get some ideas for building natural vivs, I definitely would recommend checking out his YouTube channel because he does some amazing stuff. And another one is Cam's Custom Backgrounds. We were talking about diamond pythons, and he did this beautiful setup for a diamond python. And he had this big tree kind of set up in the middle of it. And when you see that diamond python just perched and sort of doing that hanging perch, ready to
that's awesome.
Grab something. And dude, it's just amazing.
It just gets more and more into it that you want to just do, you almost want to have little bits of nature in your house for that kind of stuff. So
that's 100%. You know, I mean, like, I think at the point I am, you know, I'd say this all the time, but it's you know, obviously we can't get to Australia, and I can't go there every day, and I wish I could. If I was going to move somewhere, that's where it would be. Actually, the wife would move there. Believe it or not.
Dexter would not make a month quarantine as an imported dog where like no one can touch him. He'd lose his tiny mind.
And I haven't even begun to understand how probably difficult it is to do that. But man, that would be a dream to
be eaten by a saltwater crocodile.
Yeah. Well, you know, hey, whatever.
Yeah. Wait, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah. So, but I guess at the end of the day, I had to pick my absolute favorite monitor that there is, and it's none other.
And the fact that it's just one of those.
Then the Borneo earless monitor.
Yep, wins. The Borneo earless monitor wins. The winner. No one even entered it. We put it in ourselves because all of you were too cowardice to do it. But the monitor picture is obviously going to be won by Scott, which again, this was a hideously difficult category, but he comes out of nowhere with a baby parenti coming out of an egg, which is
just not fair, man.
Disgusting. I mean, come on. That is a cool shot. That is a cool animal. Done.
Like, what's the story here? Like, this isn't the incubation medium, right? Like, he didn't find this in the wild. So did he take it out of the incubator and set up this shot? Because that's what I love. Like, I love the effort that goes into making a good shot. And
I hope he did. I mean, if this is the incubation medium, I mean, I would think his incubator's filled with a bunch of rocks.
Right.
But
yeah. But anyway, like, yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's such a cool animal.
Dude, they're just, you know, there's in my sickness. So I watched this. So
is that what we're calling your monitor kick now? Is your sickness?
No,
I'm okay with it, but
for my sickness, I watched. Actually, Justin turned me on to this in Texas. He was telling me about this documentary called The Lizard King, and it was a PBS special documentary or whatever that I think I shared it in the chat. I don't know. Everything's fuzzy those couple of weeks, man. So anyway, you know, it sort of breaks it down, and you can look it up on YouTube. But this guy right here, Eric, right here, this book is an amazing book. It's called The Lizard Man Speaks, and it's sort of a story of his life. And basically, parentis are the highlight of that. And you're just watching these beautiful parentis just going in the outback of Australia. And man, they're just amazing. They're amazing reptiles.
Gorgeous animals.
I don't want to poo-poo Komodo dragons because Komodo dragons are cool, but I don't understand why Komodo dragons get all the hype.
Because they're really big.
Parentis parentis are really next in line, man.
Yeah, but they're big. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm not poo-pooing Komodo dragons, but
I would kind of almost wish more zoos had parentis, because it seems like Komodo dragons are slowly becoming like every zoo's got one. Like, it's, you know, here's the cage where they keep their giant anaconda, and here's the cage where they keep their Komodo dragon. Here's their tortoises. Cool. That was the reptile building. Like, I almost wish some zoos would branch out to some cooler species like parentis and stuff like that. I don't think there's, I think there's some at the reptile gardens, and I think there's maybe a scattering at a couple zoos, but that's about it.
So basically it came down to a fight between Justin and Scott. Yep. And I think that's only because Mike didn't know that there was a monitor category. I'm sorry about that, Mike. I thought you did. I would have gave you the heads up. But I feel bad now. But
it would have been difficult because we would have had like Mertens, Perenni, and like it would have just been bad.
Dude, Mike, I can't sing this guy's praises enough. These freaking monitors I got from him came ready to play, man. I mean, I have it at this point where every morning I come down, with the food monkey comes and they open up the cage and, here I am and I'm feeding them off the tongs and, it's just they're right up on my hand now and they just sort of are. I don't know, man. You don't get that kind of interaction with a snake. And I'm not saying that, I love snakes. I do. And I always will. And carpet pythons are always, my favorite. But I don't know, man. There's just something about them that's badass. But
so Scott said in the chat that he incubated this normally and then staged it. It's in a termite mound.
Oh, no kidding.
No staged it for the shot. So that's cool.
That's cool. That is cool.
Let's look at that one more time.
Yeah. That is cool.
Oh, or he said the Lacey. He did it for Perennies and Lacey's. He said the Lacey's in a termite mound. I'm sorry.
Okay, Lacey's in a termite mound.
Yeah.
Perennies. That's still fine because that's awesome, and it kind of plugs you in that this is what you would see if you did find one out in the wild. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's cool. All right.
Okay. So that's the winners. Congratulations to everybody. And very, very good. The one thing that we will now
last thing left.
Two things.
Oh, yeah. Two things left. Yep. We have the Morelia of the year.
Right.
Which is that person. Yep. That person who, gets to come back with us next year and pick the new ones as well as pick the special category for the following year. And Morelia of the year this year is, as much as Eric really wanted it to be a monitor, it is not. It is. We decided it's going to be the diamond python.
The diamond python.
So the diamond python is going to win Morelia of the year. And this is, I think, the first year in a couple years where an actual Morelia has won Morelia of the year. So
rough scales are Morelia. You're saying carpet pythons.
Carpet pythons, yeah. I mean, I think like a couple years we didn't know, and Pelly win it. We had, a couple times.
You had a rattlesnake win it 1 year.
1 year that did happen. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Morelia of the year is going to be the diamond python. So that's just, again, it's a cool shot. It's a classic kind of a diamond python look. It's everything any Morelia head would totally be all about. So
Michael Payne, you are the winner of the Monty Award for 2022. Congrats. That's cool. And that's an amazing snake, man. That's a great shot.
Passing the torch.
Yeah. See how that one goes. So final thing, the last thing, Terry, what is the special category going to be for the 2023 calendar?
Man. Okay. So I was tempted to do turtles.
Okay.
But I'm going to do Southeast Asian colubrids.
Southeast Asian colubrids. All
yes.
Right.
Okay.
Mark that down right now.
Mark it down.
So what would encompass, like, give me a couple species.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's right.
You could do all the Boiga species.
Mm-hmm.
You could do rhino rat snakes, ring snakes, Ridley eye, or all the Orthriophis, all the beauty snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the Porphyracea. You could do Gonyosoma.
Oh,
you
okay.
Could do, and I'm not even mentioning the keelbacks and the Homolopsis, the water snakes, the snakes that I don't even know about, that are over there.
Too bad Owen can't get into
no one can't.
This is right up his alley.
Can't do it.
Big angry
colubrids. Several of them.
King rat snakes, Patias.
Got it. Like
Brett said squirrels.
Brett is mute him. He's not allowed to talk anymore. Brett has lost all MPR privileges. Good day, sir. But no, that's going to be a cool one. I mean, because even with the king rats and the rhinos and all that other stuff, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Although I don't know of any of those that are easy to photograph.
No.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Boiga, no.
So bring the skill. Get patient. Take a good photo, because the snakes deserve it.
Right.
And I think it'll be great.
Wait,
and
I see how you went this. I see how you went it, Terry. I see what you did.
He's stacking
now
the deck
you can
to win
enter
again.
back into the contest. Well played, my friend.
Yeah,
Gary's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like putting the things on his camera. Like, yeah, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, if you want me back, I'll come back.
Maybe
We can do this again. And
kind of where it goes. So yeah, we will so that'll be cool. You guys got a whole year. Again, we'll make the announcement probably again sometime in September next year. But we will get it all set up, and the calendars will be made available to everybody so they can go ahead and order them, and we'll get that all squared away. Yeah. The winners of each category do get a free calendar. So that's coming to you guys as well. So
yeah, and I think we're gonna I didn't talk to you yet, Owen, about it, but I think for our Patreon people, you're going to hook them up in some way with
forget the Patreons. Forget them.
Oh man.
What? No,
See,
they have that's new tier material. They're gonna have to pay more to get the calendar.
No.
Fine.
Yeah,
fine.
And the sale of the calendars, they go to anything?
Us. It goes to paying for MPR.
Well deserved.
Yeah, we got to keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah, it usually just depends. Sometimes we do things. Sometimes we give a portion to US Arc. In the past, we've done that. Sometimes I know we did. Well, that was actually a T-shirt we did for these Australian bushfires and stuff. But I'm hoping that I'm working on this. And again, I apologize because I've kind of been out of the loop for a couple weeks. But I'm hoping that I can get it to where you can just buy it right off the website. So I'm going to try to set up a store, and you guys can just go and buy the calendar straight off there and make it super
get it shipped
easy
out, and you're good to go.
Good, but good stuff. So I guess in closing, we'll just chat with you for a minute, Terry. What you got going on? I mean, you got some exciting stuff going on, and
your Fahrenheit and your diamonds and your rough scales and.
It's been the best year ever.
Dear God, you're building of a building in your yard. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. 2020, I COVID hit, lost my career, moved across the country, then bought a house, started a new career. And in the meantime, hatched out more snakes than I've ever hatched before. So that was super cool. So
that's awesome.
We had a lot of success with diamonds, Angolans, dogtooth cat snakes, rhino rat snakes, Barron's racers, Savu pythons was the first for me this year.
Nice.
Ball pythons was the first for me this year. It was.
Let me ask that question real quick. As far as like with you breeding all these, more exotic species, if you will, and then diving into something that's more mainstream, do you find it easier, or was it harder, more difficult?
I think both. So the hard part is I stopped paying attention to ball pythons when desert and pinstripe were the hot morph. Right?
Oh yeah, I got
what hell happened?
So imagine coming. I mean, I was never into ball pythons, but I was, I watched snake bites and all that stuff, so I was following it.
Right.
So imagine now to say, okay, I'm going to start a project, and then you've got all of these, not single genes, but all of the combinations. It's like, where do you start?
7 gene, yeah.
So that was overwhelming. That was really overwhelming. But that's been fun. The breeding part hasn't been that difficult. Fortunately, there's so much content. Like you can't consume all the content. And and I feel like people have that species dialed in so well with their cycles and their what do you call it? The sonogram, ultrasounds, the ultrasounds and all that stuff. So but I'm not that sophisticated. I throw them in for 3 days and I take them out for 3 days. Right. So I was fortunate enough to get a group and had some success this year. And dude, seeing snakes hatch out of eggs is super cool, no matter what it is. And
that's true. Yeah.
Not knowing what's gonna come out. I did some visuals to some hets that I was like, are they really hets? I don't know. We'll find out. And then to see that albino come out or see whatever, a different one come out was interesting. You know, I've never done a morph project before, so of any species. So that was super cool. That was a lot of fun.
That is awesome.
So you kind of, I guess you kind of get it why people are kind of into doing that.
Yes, you know? Yes, I totally get it. And I hated on ball python people and ball python. I was the biggest hater there was, you know, and I equate it to, you know, when I was in college, I did the same thing to people in fraternities. I was like, oh, you know, you got to pay to have friends and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to rush and I'm not going to do anything. But then it's like, well, wait a minute. Like they were having fun, you know, like they didn't care that. And so now that like I've stepped into this other area of the hobby and it is a completely separate area, I'm like, oh, they're having a lot of fun. They don't care about any of you guys that are just walking by their table at the expos, you know?
Right.
They're having a lot of fun. So that's been fun. Marketing wise though, it's a whole different animal. I don't have to advertise my roughies or my barons or my rhinos, or I don't have to advertise any of those.
People find you,
find me. And it's not that way with the ball pythons.
I have to actively search for people. Like, yes. Okay.
I think for someone, I don't know, maybe this is your thought, but I think for somebody that's in your position, it's with all these, you know, rare type of species that you're working with, it's sort of, I think you have the opportunity to sort of gateway some of those people that would come to you, say for a ball python, and then, you know, you're gatewaying into something else, because typically, you know, I think the trend is that you sort of figure out who you like to buy from. And then when you kind of find that person and you know that they have a mix of a bunch of stuff, you're like, oh, wow, they have this. That's pretty cool. And oh, wow, they have that, you know, and
how many people have you turned on to Boyega, you drug dealer? Like, you know, come on. It's like, and that's the thing. Like, it's true. You get the ball python and then you're following you and check out all the cool stuff that you got hatching out over there. Why not jump into some of that stuff? So,
And it's funny, you know, I've started adding, you know, some ball python stuff to my Instagram, and then there'll be a rhino rat snake post and they'll be like, what is this thing? I've never seen it before, you know?
People go nuts for the little
and in my mind, in my circle, I'm like, you've never seen a rhino rat snake before? Like, where have you been, you know? But I forget that they're not that popular, you know? And so
I don't know why.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
It's one of those things where rhinos are having some sort of resurgence. It is insane.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a resurgence. They were never popular. I just think there weren't that many people into them. And now that more people are getting into them and there's more volume and more people working with them. And I have a lot of people buying them as pets. Like they don't want a breeder, and
most of mine have gone as pets, you know.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the same thing with the Barons racers.
Really,
and I'm really interested to see how the demographic is changing. Where I'm getting a lot of female buyers now, whereas before, you know, I didn't necessarily. And I think that's super encouraging because it's saying that the market is growing and it's getting bigger, and there's room for all of us. So.
Yeah, I think you can do a ton with a rhino. I think you do a ton with a baron, especially if it's going to be like a pet. Set up the Viv, and I have had family that don't want to come anywhere near my snakes, but I have my rhino set up in that giant tank in my living room, and those will be the ones that they want to be up against the glass and take pictures of, because something about just having a little horn on their face just totally diffuses. They're not. Even though I got bit on the thumb by my female yesterday, like they're still vicious little things, but people just don't see it, and they kind of just think they're awesome. So,
well, it's like a permanent party hat, Owen.
Yeah.
I almost chose for next year. I almost chose rear fang snakes. No, rear fang snakes. But I was like, all it would be was hog noses with mustaches. And
thank you. Like, one day we're gonna have somebody who wins and be like, next year will be snakes with mustaches, and I'll be backed into some kind of corner that I can't get out of, and I'll be rage filled. So nobody
that's cool.
felt like that.
I think you bring up a good point, Terry, about the hobby. Is that I think that a lot of people are coming into it, and I think that the fact that it's not sold as just a breeding thing anymore, and people can just come in and keep, I think that opens the door for them to feel comfortable just to keep whatever they like. You know what I mean? So if they, whereas before it was like you're sort of like, if you're coming into the hobby. You sort of have to play by these rules or follow these things in order to be somebody or successful in the hobby. So I find that quite encouraging for the future of the hobby, you know.
Well, it's also cool because it's, you know, when I started, Asian rat snakes had the stigma of being hard to feed, hard to work with, hard to breed. And like, I think at one point somebody said, if I ever got a mandarin and I looked at it cross-eyed, it would just drop dead.
Right. Yeah.
Which is probably the stigma that came from, yes, the original ones that were pulled out of the wild. They probably had health problems.
Well,
Why?
I think wild
Because
ones
we ripped
don't ever
them out
do
of the
good.
wild.
Yeah, I don't think the wild ones ever do good.
Exactly. And that makes sense. So, you know, and it's one of those things where, you know, I think we're starting to get past that kind of stuff where it is becoming something that people can work with and can keep and can, you know, set up and readily have that little slice of nature in their living room and have a snake that doesn't get 12 feet long. So, yeah, of
really,
course there.
Do you remember? I don't know if any of you did. You subscribe to the Vivarium magazine?
I have them all over there.
Okay,
they're all right there.
So that magazine was so ahead of its time because Philippe de Vaugelet has articles in there, and he talks about the third wave of herpetoculture. You know, and he talks about the first wave, which was like the Noah's Ark. You're keeping type specimens, and you kind of have a lot of things, but the goal of it is really to just keep it, right?
Right.
And then the second wave would be captive breeding, right? And so that really picked up steam in the 80s and the 90s. And then the third wave of herpetoculture, what he was calling the art of snake keeping, or the art of, you know, keeping herps, right? And we say that Europe has taken such bigger steps than we have in this, and that, you know, setting things up in naturalistic enclosures or you know, creating a piece of nature in our living room,
right,
and treating them more like aquaculturists keep like reef fish, you know, where you know they buy a $20 fish and they put it in a $5,000, you know, aquarium, and we're doing the complete opposite of that with some of our monoculture and the breeding side, but we're also because the industry is getting bigger. You know, US Ark put out a newsletter just the other day that said 1 in 20 people in the United States have a pet reptile in their house. You know, like
that's crazy.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. And I'm seeing it in real life. I went to Petco the other day to get feeder fish, and the lady behind me was probably in her late 50s, early 60s, and she had a couple live mice and a couple frozen mice, and she just didn't look like the quintessential
typical reptile keeper.
She didn't look like a reptile keeper. She didn't have a ponytail, wasn't wearing a black shirt, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, "What are you feeding?" And she said, "Oh, my dad is sick. I'm feeding his python. He's had it for 35 years.
That's insane.
Wow. And I was like, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
And I said, you know, I'm feeding baby snakes, you know, with these fish. And I said, we couldn't have this conversation 5 years ago, you know?
You wouldn't.
And I'm running into that more and more where, you know, I just started this new job and I had to ship out some snakes to FedEx. And so I brought them to work with me and in the shipping boxes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew what I did. And so he said, is that what I think it is? And I said, yeah. And he just cracks up about it. He said, yeah, I knew a guy in college that kept snakes, you know? And just to the point where I'm seeing more and more people where the reaction isn't, oh, I hate snakes, I kill every one of them that I see.
Right.
The reaction now is, oh, I know somebody who does that too. Or, oh, that's pretty neat, you know? Yeah. So
it's funny you say the 3 waves of herpetoculture, right? Because I kind of feel like that's the succession of where I've been and where I'm at. You know, it's like I started with I remember in the 80s, you know, there was no thought of even breeding. Like you just kept it, you know. My dad's influence on me was like the whole thing of just getting as many different species as you possibly could, you know, and having them and like, oh, look at this species. Oh, look at this species. Like, you know, and then obviously when I came back into it, it's the breeding thing. So then I'm knee deep in breeding and producing and, you know, being cutting edge with morphs and this and that. And like, and now I'm slimming down the collection and, you know, just enjoying it. And I think, you know, like I know myself and Nipper and Keith are kind of like in this spot where we're not keeping so many of the same things and slimming it down and having this variety. And I gotta say, it's quite
enjoyable.
refreshing.
It's freeing,
enjoyable.
right?
Yeah. It's really like this idea of keeping 200 snakes, and I'm not poo-pooing it, because without breeders that are doing that,
I wouldn't have my shit.
It's just for me, it's like I'm trying to be something that I'm not, or maybe I did that, been there, did that type of thing, and I moved on to the next stage, and just enjoying it. And man, it's I say this all the time. Rob was telling me to do this for years, and he's already there. He's been doing that for quite a while, and I don't know. It's a good thing. So
it's fun to have a certain like 2.2 of stuff you're interested in, but only have like a couple pairs of stuff, because then everything's different. You still have your 2.2, and then if you want to breed, you can breed, and you're not hatching 200 baby same things every year. So it's fun to have the variety. It's fun to have the cool stuff to work with, and I am slowly getting to that point as well. So more. Well, and it's
when your customers are asking, you get that question like, what's its temperament?
They'll
ask you, like, what's its temperament? And it's like, and sometimes I'll say, I don't know. I've never held it for. Like I have too much volume to hold my snake and watch TV. I don't do that.
Right.
But when they buy it, when they receive it, that's what they're going to do. And that's it's not a red flag, but it's a marker that, like you said, I had a relationship with. When I had 2 Burmese pythons, I had a relationship with those snakes. Right. So when one of those, I had one of those snakes that passed, and then the other one I gave away before I went to Africa. But when those snakes left, it affected me very deeply, whereas now, when I experience mortality, it still affects me, but it's not as much, because I don't have as strong a relationship with these snakes as I do, when I had a couple. And so, I think if that's something that you want, I think finding, having less animals is going to benefit you a lot. And and I think it takes us, and we see this in a lot of keepers where they'll ramp up and they'll say, oh, it's too much, I got to whittle down, and they'll whittle it way down, and then they'll ramp up again, and I'm guilty of that. Like as my life has changed, and as I've moved, and things have just progressed in my life, I've increased the collection and decreased the collection, and increase it and decrease it, and right now I'm kind of increasing it again, and I'm building this building, and I'm hoping that I can increase my efficiency. So even though my numbers increase, I can still maintain the same level or better level of care.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And again, I think it's, I think the positive about that is that people are kind of finding the species that they're passionate about. And when you're passionate about that species, it's not necessarily trying to find or follow in somebody else's footsteps. I see a lot of people anymore like trying to blaze their own road, if you will, and I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to see,
Find what you like and work with it. If nobody else likes it, who cares? It's all for you anyway. Like I never understood the herper that tailors the collection to what somebody else likes.
Well, I think that was always just that breeder mindset, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like in the 2000s, it was kind of this idea that, like, I mean, I know that everybody paints it in a way of you wanted to get rich, but I think there was a little more to that with some people, with a lot of people, right? I think that the idea of being able to work with the thing that you love and that's your job was very attractive.
I like that.
I mean, and like to be able to like support your family and live a comfortable life and walk out to your snake room as your job is kind of like it's very it's very seductive, and I think a lot of people kind of are excellent keepers, but when it comes to the business part of it, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like they're not so business savvy. And I think that's where sometimes they fall on their face. And it's this whole idea that you're going to buy yourself into business, rather grow into business and sort of start with a smaller group of animals and then add on top of it once you feel comfortable with what you had and then add on top of that. And, you know, slowly over time you build up, you know, customer base and all these things, to your point, Terry, where people are coming to you without even have to advertise. I mean, isn't that the, you know?
Yeah. That's nice.
And if you're known as the person with that species,
people are going to come to you for
people
it.
Are going to, you're the person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And customer service, I feel like customer service is so easy in the reptile hobby, right? Like just don't screw anybody.
And then you're good.
You know what I mean? Like, and you're better than 50% of them, you know, and then just treat people how you want to be treated, you know, and
if you make a mistake, fix it.
Exactly.
Don't something goes wrong, fix it. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't met anybody yet, at least the people that I interact with, that like if you make a mistake and you sort of say that you made a mistake and you own that mistake, that people would rather you do that than sort of give them this runaround. And I think what happens a lot of times is people are afraid, my reputation's going to be ruined or whatever this would be, and they get into this thing where they think they can, I guess, lie their way out of it or sort of, you know, try to be sneaky about it or hope that they don't find out. And then they always do. And that's when you get into trouble. And,
but it's so much easier just to be like, because what are they going to say? I had a bad problem. Yeah. And he gave you your money back. Yeah, he did. All right. Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, what's the issue here?
Yeah.
And that's where it just comes down to it. So it's like you said, just shit happens. These are animals.
I mean,
bad things happen. Stuff happens all the time.
Retail is that's what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
So I can't tell people enough. And I think this just works in life in general, right? Let's say that, you know, you interact with 3% of the customers that they're just not good people, or they're trying to get over, or they're trying to, you know, somehow get something for nothing or for whatever it is, right? But we're judging the 97% based off our experience with the 3%. I said, let the 3% get over, but the 97% are going to stick with you because you treat them and you take care of them. And I mean, it's that model has worked for me for the past 20 years, and, you know, make me very successful in doing what I do. So.
Do you ever have a customer that they just contact you about a snake that you have for sale, and it's just like they don't ask you about it. They just say, I want this snake. What's your PayPal address? This is my zip, my phone number. They give you everything that you need, you know, and then you tell them how much it is, and there's the money. And it's like, when I get those, I almost want to give them a discount.
Oh, thank God, there's no problems here.
You know, like, you didn't ask me for photos. You didn't ask me, you know, 27 questions about it. You didn't ask me to take pictures of, you know, the grandparents, you know.
Right.
Not that there's not necessarily anything wrong with doing that. I mean, part of that is doing your research, right? But, you know, like when you want pictures of every single baby snake and they're all going to go through a color change, you know, like, it's not what it's going to look like. And, you know, it's
so much better with olive pythons. It's like, which one do you want? They all look the goddamn same. Just tell me you want, like, how many. So, But anyway, those customers, like the 3% that you're talking about, you know, and I'm fortunate that I really can't say that I've had, I don't think I can say I've had bad problems as a seller ever. I've had issues that I've had to overcome, you know, but it's not been much, and nobody's given me a hard time about it. It's me as a buyer. That's when I've run into most issues, but anyway, it's just part of it. I don't know.
I used to say, I said this to Owen a couple of times. I said, man, I wish that I would get a customer that was like me as a customer, because to your point, right?
Yep.
I'm not going and talking to somebody about a snake unless I have the money.
Yeah.
Or know that I'm going to have the money within, say, a week or two.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and it's, to your point, right? It's just like, okay, how much is it? Okay, it's this much. Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to, here's my info. What's your PayPal? Here you go. Let's go.
What's so funny is, so when I was researching Barron's racers, I'd reached out to John Michaels with Black Pearl, and I wasn't planning on getting any that year. I just wanted to get ahead, to see who was going to have them next year. And he had some that had hatched late, and he says, actually, I've got 3 right now. You can have them for, such and such amount of money. And I was like, oh man, like I really I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't expect you to have any,
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I am planning on buying them then. So, and I had the money. I was like, why not? Okay. I got to put my money where my mouth. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take them, here you go.
Right. Yeah.
And it's turned out fantastic, so producing Bears this year was super, super cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool. I guess because
we're at the 2 hour. Yeah, we're at that 2 hour mark. It's also 11 o'clock. Eric will soon turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure that we threw out the podcast that you're on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So I didn't know you were going to be competition. It's a shame we have to destroy you. Like I didn't. You've been very nice. I feel bad about this.
Yeah. So. Well, our bar is to put out more episodes more frequently than GTP Keeper Radio. So I don't know how.
That's pretty easy.
That's pretty easy. Yeah, just do it once every. If you can do at least 3 episodes a year, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's cool.
Ow.
Yeah, it's so funny. So the podcast that you're talking about is the Serpent Stream. Jeff Godbold kind of shelved the Corrales Radio. He'd been doing Corrales Radio for years and has a great library of content that he's going to keep available for people. And he said he wanted to branch out, and he reached out to me, and so we created the Serpent Stream. And so we've got a couple episodes out there, and we're trying to, just trying to put our own spin on it. And cool. I'm learning that how much work it is to produce content, and it just makes, like, you guys had my respect before, but you have a lot more of it now.
Eric does most of the heavy lifting. I just show up and ruin things. But yes, he does a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was implied, Owen, that I was talking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes. Continue.
Hence the name Podfather is given to me and not you.
Listen, I go away. There were no shows. Clearly, I am the power behind the throne. We'll talk about this later.
Right. So anyway, we interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yes, I did.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just about it. We have a lot of shows in the pipeline. I just have to edit them and get them out. And right now, I just started a new job as a loan officer, and I'm working on this building, which is the new reptile building. So, and it's just getting colder and colder. So I'd really like to get that building done so that I can move the snakes out of my garage into that building. So, yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Has that been from the ground up, the design you designed?
Yes. Yeah. So
how's that been?
It's been a lot of fun in terms of the mental exercise of building something and designing something with my own hands. And I looked at doing like a tough shed design or getting something, pre-built, but it just, for the cost that it was going to be to deliver it, and they were just going to deliver it, and I'd still have to run power and water and insulation, and I'd still have to do all of that. And it was just a lot of money. And so you can haul a 12-foot wide shed, but when you go to 14 feet, you have to get more permits. So it's a lot more. Well, I wanted it 14 feet wide.
Right. And
I was initially looking at 14 by 28. And what we ended up doing, I ended up doing 14 by 36. And I decided I was going to do 3 different rooms. So I've got a hot room and then a cold room, and then I'll do another small room. So the hot room is going to be 14 by 18. And then the cold room will be 14 by 10. So that's diamonds and rhinos, Sanzinia probably. And then the last room is going to be smaller. It's 14 by 8. And that'll be my quarantine / rodent room. So I don't raise rodents right now, but I've been talking to Austin about it and a couple other people and thinking about starting a small colony of, ASFs or something like that just to have on hand. So
you can just, with one rack, you can feed a pretty nice sized collection from what we've seen that friends of ours that do breeding of rodents. So, I mean, why not give it a shot?
So, but I'm really looking forward to that. I've never had the ability to, do separate rooms like that, like I want and do it all right. And a couple of weeks ago, my wife said, how much would you charge if somebody wanted you to build this for them, after you're done? And I said, man, I don't know. I'd have to think about that and the time involved and stuff like that. And then about a week ago, for my upteenth time to Home Depot and stuff, I was coming back and I said, you couldn't pay me enough to build another one of these.
no amount of money.
So it's been a really good project. I'm enjoying it. I'm really going to enjoy it when it's done. In terms of, a sense of pride and doing what I want and making it what I want. But I've decided that I like working with my hands with smaller projects. So building cages, I think that's my wheelhouse, something smaller like that. Building buildings, I don't think that's necessarily my wheelhouse.
Right.
So you guys can't move out of South Carolina, or if you do, you're going to hire somebody to build the next one. I mean,
well, I did make it portable. So
nice.
Theoretically,
good job.
Because
you just have to have it towed.
Because so Eric, I think you've gone through this, right? Where you're trying to buy a house and sell a house, but how do you sell a house with a room full of snakes in it? Right? Like, I don't know how you did it, but we sold our house in Texas. We'd already moved to South Carolina before, so there, the house was vacant.
Right.
But when we were moving out of our rental house here into a house, it was okay, but where are we going to put the snakes? And okay, and for anybody buying a house in 2021, it is a terrible time to buy a house. It is just, the market was just crazy and it was difficult. And so all that to say, there weren't a lot of options out there. And so I was compromising, it's like, well, maybe we could build this something, or maybe I don't know, maybe we'll put them in the garage and we won't have a garage or something like that. And, and then it just came down to, if I had something that was portable, one, it would be what I wanted. And then if we ever move out of this house, which if you look at my track record, I happen to do that from time to time.
keeps happening.
Yeah. There's no plans to move out of this house. So hopefully, knock on wood. But if and when that happens, we can, one, there's no stress looking for a place that has to accommodate the snakes because it's already done, right? There's no resetting up the snake room. Like, you just move it with you. Now, whether we do that or whether we leave it here and we build I don't know, but it was just an option. And I thought, I want to build it for that option.
I like that.
So I built it on skids that it could be moved. It'll probably cost us a pretty penny to move it, but it is a possibility. And I'm breeding ball pythons now, so I'll probably be able to afford it.
I mean, of course. I mean, at this point, you can like move it and build another one at the same time. Like,
we're learning all his secrets here tonight.
Apparently, that's what I have to do. Yeah.
So
that's awesome, man.
That's great,
really
dude.
cool.
I can't wait to see it finished. I mean, that I've been kind of tracking your progress. It looks awesome. I would have quit halfway. Like, you're already way past the point where I would have been like, I would imagine, be like, I could do it myself. Take that first trip to Home Depot and be like, nope. Like, I'm going to hire somebody.
My parents came out to help me kind of break ground, and they're both in their 70s, and and it rained the entire first week they were here, and they were out there working in the rain, hauling cinder blocks and being on their knees all day long, and they outworked me every single day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They were a huge help, and they got me to a good spot where I could take it from there. So
that's awesome.
It's been
awesome, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd love to have you guys down when it's ready. And
that's not far now.
Great.
Yeah. There's herping in South Carolina. We could figure something out. No worries.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun.
Cool. All right. Well, why don't you throw your information out there in case people want to hit you up and
for
check
rhinos,
out all these awesome snakes you produced this year.
Sure. I mean, but at Terry Burwell at Instagram, that's pretty much the only social media that I want anybody to contact me on. And then my store is TV Snakes on Morph Market. And then, keep an eye out for the Serpent Stream whenever episodes come out. So
yeah,
cool. I appreciate all the support that y'all give me. So
absolutely.
We'll definitely have to have you pop back on when you're finished up with your snake building and let us know how wonderful that was from point A to point, R or wherever we're at right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, awesome.
All right. Well, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for helping us judge. And
we'll catch up with you later. And obviously, you're going to go take a ton of pictures to submit onto the Southeastern Asian Collier category.
I'm going to try to bring it. Try to bring it.
All right.
So.
All right. Yeah. If you don't, I will be disappointed.
Okay.
So,
all right.
All right.
Right on.
Thanks, Terry. We'll catch up with you.
Man, Terry.
Thank you so much.
See you.
All righty.
All right, let's close this out because I got to go to bed. And
Eric needs sleep.
Not sleeping full nights and being under the weather is not the best.
Come on.
If you're herping, it's okay. But if you're not herping, it's no good.
You're sitting there, you're like, I'm so sick. And then I see a video of you shredding on your guitar. And I'm like, sick my ass. Look at him. And
that's how I relax, man.
Beating up that neck with your strumming or whatever it is. Like, come on.
Well, it's funny. Me and Keith we have our own separate chat that we share, like music stuff with all day, and like we'll continually send like, check this out, and I love it with Keith because he's not a musician, but he has the know-abouts of a musician, and he has this. Just like with snakes, he has an eye for certain things. With music, he has ears for certain things, and he's continuing to impress me. So like I feel bad. He's sending me all these pictures of TikTok guitar players and stuff, and like I say, oh yeah, and I tell him different things or whatnot. I'm like, he probably thinks I'm full of shit, so I better like play.
Oh no,
I better play something.
Get me my ass. It was. Well, that's the thing is Tom and Justin were talking about concerts they've seen, guitars they've owned, stuff they've played, and I'm like, you got the wrong host in the car here, man. Like, all I can sit there and be like, music good. Like, it was,
But every once in a while you feel it, and I was just feeling it. So
there were a couple of rock outcroppings in mountains that have been like, Eric would look at that and be like, I can just imagine myself at the top of that playing my guitar. I'm like, yeah, but you got to lug your shit all the way up there, dude. Like, it's not going to work.
That's what wireless guitar amps are for, But so we're a little bit behind. We haven't posted up for 2 weeks, but next week we're going to be doing the anniversary show. And again, it's a couple weeks behind, but no fear. I guess that technically we're now in the 11th season.
Yes, but, we are.
This is 10 years of MPR, and
we were a TV show. We'd get syndication at this point.
Yeah, I could retire like Seinfeld.
Oh my God, yes.
I guess I'm Larry David. You're Seinfeld, or you Costanza.
I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, if anything, I'm Kramer. I just come in and ruin things and then leave. So Anyway,
maybe Rob is Larry David. I'm Jerry Seinfeld, and you're Kramer.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'd buy it. Right. So, so we're in the 11th season, so we're going to do that show, which we're going to do it a little bit different than years past. We're just going to talk to some of our favorite guests and favorite people, and see what trouble we can all get into. Which is, I think, some of the best shows we've ever had are the ones where it's like, let's see what happens when we bring this person on, and then calamity ensues. So that'll be cool.
So we're going to be doing that. So that's going to be coming out. So
and then
stay tuned for that. And
this Sunday,
I think this Sunday we're going to do the Patreon, and we're
on Patreon for the herping thing trip to Arizona. So if you're a patron, you'll get an alert. We'll drop on to the show. It'll be me, Rob, Eric, possibly maybe Keith, Justin, Tom. We'll talk all about the trip to Arizona. We'll go in depth. We'll show some pictures of the stuff that we found, and talk about it pretty much point A to point B and what we found and where. So well, not where, because some of those spots are secret. So
not exactly where. Happy birthday, Robert, by the way. So And I think after that, we'll probably do the annual breeding show. And then we're 6 shows away from the end of the year. So.
Oh, the holiday show. I'll alert Jim.
6 shows away. Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody needs to start getting their their airing of grievance lists together. So
yes, Nipper. Yeah. I expect a full airing of grievances for this year.
I don't want to. No, Nipper's not allowed. I did a lot of
You can't have an airing of grievance without the.
Listen, in Arizona, I did a lot of taunting. Okay.
Oh, without the angry UK guy.
I think I sent him a picture of a Mojave, and I said, "Hey, what corn snake is this?" Like, I think, yeah. So,
Nipper's like the he's like if you had the angel and the devil on your shoulder or whatever, and like he's the the yin and the yang. He's the one that says, like, listen, fatty, get up out of the chair. Pick up that goddamn weight. But Nipper, I can't breathe. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go. Today we trained.
Yep.
But that's coming up.
That'll be fun.
And we're gonna start talks. I just want to throw this out there. I didn't really talk to you yet, Owen, so much about it.
Oh, you're retiring? Oh shit.
No. We're going to start talks about I guess this would be the 10th Northeast Carpet Fest. And
we have to do it.
Some of the ideas is to do it at a venue. Maybe have some people speak or something during the day, and then sort of have like a nice get together at night type of thing where we're all hanging out at a nice venue and we don't have to worry about neighbors,
wrecking somebody's house.
Houses and stuff. Because
also,
I think go ahead,
our houses are both far too small for this crap.
I mean, I think that at this point, the Northeast Carpet Fest 2022 is probably going to be insanity. And as far as the amount of people, and you're correct, my house cannot withstand
and mine is smaller.
So we're going to be working on that. But I think, I don't know, I'm getting a little inspiration from the iCast type of thing. Not necessarily that, but maybe our own
we'll talk it out. We'll see what's up. And we'll definitely have some form of a Northeast Carpet Fest.
Yes.
And we'll just try to figure it out from there. And we'll go through some iterations. If you're listening to the podcast and you have some ideas and you want to throw them out there, just send us an email at info@moreliapythonradio.com. Yeah. We'll take anything into consideration. Maybe it'll work. So we'll go from there.
100%. So, all right. For us, the website, moreliapythonradio.com. So stay tuned for the calendars for sale as soon as they're available. We'll have them up everywhere. I'm hoping that I can get it set up on the website. So if we can just direct people right to the website, they can go there, they can buy it right off the website. And there you go. So stay tuned for that. If you are a winner, please email at info@MoreliaPythonRadio a high-res pic of the picture that won.
Yep.
And also include your shipping address so I can start to get that together so I can send you out when they're ready to go.
And your info. Please put your name. What the snake
your
is.
Name.
Dear God, your name, what the snake is, and anything little history that you want to put out there, or any company name that you want to put out there, because this is the stuff that we're going to put. We're going to put the picture, then we're going to put your name, and we're going to put a couple other things on there. So you want to use this. Don't just be like, this is my screen name, and snake is called Paul. Like, that doesn't help us. And it also doesn't help you.
Right.
So,
Think like Terry thinks. Think ahead.
Come on.
So and if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for the show or anything like that, you can send emails to info@moreliapythonradio.com too. For our social medias, I think at this point the big thing that we're trying to push is just subscribe to the YouTube channel.
And
obviously, Owen has some videos coming up from the trip. Like I said, we're going to try to work on this more and more and start to go things in that route. So pay attention for that. And then we got the Teespring store, and then we got the Patreon if you want to support even more. So there's that, and that's all I got. So
that's all we got for everybody tonight. So we'll say thanks for putting up with us during this little hiatus thingy. But we're back. We promise we won't be going far. And thank you everybody for listening, and we'll catch everybody back here next week for some more Morelia Python Radio. Good night.